Tonight's episode of WWE's flagship program emanated from Green Bay, Wisconsin, without Mr. Kennedy. I'm John Renton with my review of WWE Raw from, Green Bay, Wisconsin. We are so close to WWE SummerSlam, emitting from Cleveland, Ohio. I know that's not the name, but work with me here. We've got a SmackDown, which actually is a taped SmackDown because they're currently in Japan. At least some of the people are. We have the Go Home Raw for WWE SummerSlam, and then we have the SmackDown before WWE SummerSlam. I've said WWE SummerSlam so many times, it's lost all meaning. I'm not going to review the taped episode of SmackDown this Friday. I'm not going to review next week's episode. I'm taking a bit of a break. I'm also not going to review the SmackDown before SummerSlam. And I want to note at the top of the program, firstly, thank you guys very much for pushing me past a milestone for subscribers I never thought I would reach. You can check the channel. You can be surprised. I'm definitely surprised, considering when I started this channel, I never even thought I'd reach 200 or even 500, and you guys have helped me grow for just a little channel that for a period had my best friend Chris, aka the Durbinator, working with me and pretty much keeping me sane throughout most of it. That was a lot of fun, but you guys have helped me a lot, so I do want to thank you. But in regards to SummerSlam, I will have a predictions video up sometime early next week. But as for SummerSlam, because of a schedule change, I'm not going to be watching it live. Now, part of me would be disappointed, honestly, with SummerSlam. I'm only excited for maybe a couple matches, and you know what? It is what it is. Work's more important. That paycheck, that sweet, sweet dollar is a lot more important. So I will be reviewing it, if not right after work on Saturday and just forego sleep heading into Sunday morning shift. I will have a review up sometime, by Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. So if there are serious delays, I do apologize. I also want to apologize for the few people that might wonder why I'm not reviewing this year's New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Climax Tournament, G1 Climax 34. I tried to catch up on night one. I got halfway through, and I said David Finlay, Ren Narita, Gabriel Kidd, Evil, and quite frankly, some people that basically are just past their goddamn prime. I mean, there are people I like in those particular fields, but I just can't justify watching, reviewing when last year's tournament really didn't get all that much interest online and on this channel. I also just need a bit of a break, guys. That being said, I will be doing some retro reviews of particular wrestling events. An ECW pay-per-view, a WWF pay-per-view from 1999, and two WCW pay-per-views from 94 when they were going to rise up, and 99 when they were crumbling down. Reduxes of the WCW ones, because I want to add some more stuff. So that's your update. Let's get to the review now. I think now would be a good idea. So yeah, the capacity was almost around 10,000 people. They had about 6,400 according to WrestleTix. And they were pretty much goddamn rocking. The fans were pretty much into, I'd say, about 70% of this show. Gunther comes out to a good reaction, getting some boos. Raw will be on Sci-Fi for the next 2 weeks. That's partly also, I have Sci-Fi. I actually have a lot of channels, thanks to my satellite provider. But I looked at next week's show. I'm like, I might check out a match. I might check out just see Lyra in the ring, because I enjoy watching Lyra. But he knocks Priest, he knocks the people, he wants to establish the fact that he is genetically superior. Oh no, an Austrian wants to establish his superiority over others. I've seen how this plays out. And Priest shows up, we get a fracas, a brief brawl. Agents are out trying to get rid of this whole thing. Why wasn't Priest booked like this before? Because I'm not saying you need to turn on a dime, I'm not saying you couldn't have built to it, but this really should have been going from Backlash on, because you missed out on a golden opportunity, because nobody's going to take Priest seriously, at least the vast majority. And Priest is good, he's just not world champion material. I'm happy he won it, I'm glad he got a chance to run with it, but Gunther's got to take the title from him. That being said, at least we got some fire from Priest. This is what we should have been seeing months ago. Crowd is into it. And then Jackie is trying to get a word with Gunther and Priest and ignores the fact that two giant men are coming towards her. And how do you miss that? Were you distracted by shiny things? What the hell? Anyway, the two large men start attacking, and Gunther gets boxed around. There we go. And then our first match is the Braun Steinbreaker against Ilya Dragunov. Ilya Dragunov took a vicious bump in the goddamn corner. Ouch. That's all I'm, trying to describe it as. You know what I'm talking about. Both these guys can work. The thing is, we've seen this quite a bit, like on Raw. At least it seems like it. And they work well, but I think they need to cool off on this. Also, it's the number one contenders match. Winner faces Sami Zayn at SummerSlam. There is a Frankensteiner, that pop-up Frankensteiner he does up top. That is insane. An H-bomb from Ilya. They were working well together. Then a DVD on the apron, the hardest part of the ring. Apron bumps don't mean anything. And then a spear where Dragunov's head hits the goddamn LED board. I hope he's okay, because that looked vicious, even though Steiner's safe. And Dragunov apparently just wants to die. Yeah, that was a bit rough, and the referee stops it. Okay, Steiner wins. Dragunov doesn't look weak. He basically just got his brains rattled around, and Steiner wins and looks vicious. Rhea, my goodness, Rhea, my goodness. She maybe is okay with Dominic, maybe not. We get more Judgment Day nonsense. Jey Uso is off limits. We need to not have Jey Uso involved. Yeah, okay, whatever. And then we get Xavier celebrating, with a cake, celebrating Tozawa's birthday. Apparently he's 39. You know what? Good for the lad. He has been able to have gainful employment with WWE. And Otis and Maxine were also there. They didn't have a cake big enough for Maxine to pop out of. So, let's get the Priest and Gunther being banned from the building. Lyra and the K&K crew, Caden and Katana, took on Sonya with Shayna and Zoe. You know, Zoe was thrilled to be back in Green Bay, Wisconsin. She actually remembers Milwaukee, Wisconsin, first the city being established and then seeing Dick the Bruiser, not Bruise the Dicker. No, Dick the Bruiser actually was the name of a wrestler. Believe it or not. When he made Milwaukee famous, she was able to be there for the rise and the eventual fall and the war with the Sheik. And will I stop these jokes? No, I'm not going to fucking stop these jokes. Lyra hurt herself going to the outside, trying to do a drop kick through the ropes. I hope she's okay. She was favoring those ribs, because that looked really, really awkward. The crowd was into it. It is hard not to be into what Lyra can do. And Sonya is a more than capable worker. I think the shine's kind of off on her. I mean, she has been with the company since 2014, 15. I'm glad she's still there. And I'm glad she's still rolling. I'm glad she's back from her injury. There was a point where it seemed like they were going to try to pop up, powerbomb. But Lyra had to basically yell, let go, doing John Cena levels of spot calling. And then we get a powerbomb for 2. And then we get interference and Sonya won. We got very awkward interference. Mainly because Katana is not very good. So, yeah. And then we talk about the parts of the show that I didn't like, and you know why I didn't like them. Michael Cole says, over the past few weeks, we have learned a lot about the Wyatt Six. Much of it against my will. Look, I recognize why they're doing it. That's great that they're doing it. I'm not knocking these people, and if you guys like it, that's great. I'm not going to knock a single fan that likes this. I'm not going to say you guys are less of fans. You're not. We all like different things. I hate this, even though I know why they're doing it. I don't like the supernatural stuff. It doesn't work for me. Nikki Cross does something, I don't know what the fuck she does. I liked this better when it was in the ring. When I could, recognize it is supposed to be in a horror movie. Jelly Roll is going to be at SummerSlam. Good for him. Anyway, here's Punk to a pop. He's fired up. Punk is medically cleared. He's in pink shoes and he wants to paint the town red. The bay, the Green Bay, and the pink shoes red with the blood of the Sky Psychopath. And then here's Drew. Security's out to separate. And Drew has the bracelet. I just rely on family. He's like, you need to control your emotions. This is about the peak of it until we get to the match. Pierce has said that Drew and Punk, look, Punk's medically cleared. Drew is reinstated. The thing is, you guys can't touch each other, and if you do, then whoever throws the first punch is basically going to be suspended. So they're basically doing what Brett and Undertaker did, along with Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee, because, oh ho ho, Seth Pheasant Rollins is the special guest referee. Who told him to wear that? Who told him not to stop wearing that? You need to be arrested. What in the world? There you go. So Seth is going to be the referee. He says, I'm a solution guy. Gunther's backstage. But when I say it, and yeah, there we go. We're going to have referee instructions being handed out next week. What? So, Judgment Day, they're looking for Jay. Judgment Jay. Liv showed up in what qualifies as shorts, and stop thinking about it, Kier. I know you're thinking about it. Kier, what in the world, man? Just because Liv was wearing stuff that would have not even qualified as coochie cutters, I don't actually think that's a term. I'm 43 years old and white, but stop it. Get some goddamn help, Kier. Kier's a good guy. Needs some help, though. So anyway, she's hitting on... she's hitting on Dominic. There we go. All right. Finn's like trying to get... Basically, they're just setting Dominic up to fail because Dominic has been easily led astray. Kathy's with Sammy. He says, Steiner, you better bring your best. And then Sammy hears some commotion. And then, come on, cameraman, look at the commotion with me. And then he saves Jay. Oh, boy, we're doing this again. I know why. Long-term storytelling. And then Xavier, along with Tozawa and Otis, took on the Final Testament. Why? I mean, people were into it. It's Milwaukee. Besides the Bucks, what do they have to cheer for? No, seriously, the Bucks won an NBA championship. I can't name one other sports franchise that's there, and I know that they're in Green Bay, but the Packers haven't won a world championship in a while. Nevertheless, let's just move on from that. Oh, yes, by the way, Crosspin, Xavier, no one cared. No one gave a fuck. And then here's Gable and the Creeds to confront them. And the instant I saw this, I said, just treat this seriously. Treat this seriously. Gable was running them down, saying, but please come back. I'll give you a chance. We'll give you some protection because the Wyatts are attacking me because I'm not allowed to like anybody, seriously, without being involved in bullshit. And then, oh no, Otis says that, my answer is no. A brief brawl, and then the lights go out. And for God's sakes. Then a Sister Abigail, where Gable takes a DDT like goddamn, like RVD with it, RVD getting spiked. That's actually, Sister Abigail isn't a DDT, but the way Gable landed on his head reminded me of how RVD took a DDT. I know people like it. I'm sorry. This is fucking stupid. It's not gonna go anywhere that I care about. This is the kind of stuff that might actually just run me off from just not reviewing Raw for a bit because I get frustrated with it because it belongs in Blumhouse. I'm sorry. And then here comes Bronson and Pete Dunne didn't start. Sheamus ran out. Rhea is pissed at Judgment Day. You shouldn't have attacked Jay. You shouldn't have done this. And then says, wait, what did you do, Dominic? We're going to the ring. Balor's going to face Gunther next week. Okay, fine. So, Jackie then talks to Sheamus and doesn't realize what's going on. Evergreen statement right there. Sheamus then basically says, well, Bronson did what he did. Pete Dunne, we could have settled this at the pub, or we could have a banger. And then Jackie remembers, oh, Sheamus, goodbye. Rhea then, Rhea shows up with Dominic, calls out Liv. Liv's out in the shorts, does a little spin again, Kier. Come on, man. What are you doing? Kier. Respectfully or not, you know. Because we know. Kier's a good guy. No, he is. But yes, basically Liv is like, oh, Dominic, I know how you feel. I just need to hear those 3 words. Though she did say before, gorgeous men like Dominic don't go for women or girls that look like Rhea. I mean, I'm not knocking Liv when I say this, because they're both attractive. Both very attractive women. Personally, I would go for Rhea. I would go for the type like Rhea, and that's nothing against Liv. That's no slight. If you would go otherwise, that's cool. I don't really think that there's a necessity to do that line. I'm not knocking Liv. I'm not knocking Rhea. I just don't think there was a necessity to do that because it's stupid. It's stupid. You could look at Rhea. If you can say no to Rhea, I mean, we all have personal preferences. You are stronger than me. But bless Rhea and Buddy. I wish them nothing but happiness in their marriage. But Rhea's pissed. Dominic tries to calm her down, and says, "Oh, you want to hear 3 words? Well, I hate you, Liv. I don't like you. I hate all this." Runs her down. She's all crying and acting like a CW show. And then Rhea is so happy she pulls his molt and licks him. Everybody, if that had happened to me, I probably would have done a 21-gun salute. If you know what I mean. It would have blown up like the Challenger. I'm sorry, I have weird kinks. I don't have issues, though. You all have issues. So, yeah, that's pretty much the end right there, because then we have Zelina with a bad arm. She cuts a promo. That was a choice. She will not be kept down, despite the fact she can't reach something on the second shelf. And then she faced Zoe in a long, competitive match, despite the fact she had tape and an arm brace. Good psychology there. They ran short on time. Or ran, short on, filling time, I guess. So, and Zoe, I imagine, probably would have said, Zelina, I remember when Puerto Rico was uncharted territory. See, I told you I wasn't done. The crowd went mild. Later, K&K crew and Lyra showed up and using the cast a couple times and hitting a code red 1, 2, 3. Zelina won a match in 2024, and my God, the apocalypse is upon us. I have nothing against Zelina as a person. I really don't. She has been at this. Wrestling. She was in TNA, back in, 2011. I know she's had pauses. I know that she's been trained, and that's fine. But I would stick to being a manager. I'm sorry, she's just not believable as a wrestler. She's not awful. She's just not good. Xavier tells Pierce that he wants Cross one-on-one. Drew then yells at Pierce about about Rollins being the referee, that is. And then Jackie is suddenly standing there with Isla Noah and Alba Fire. And hey, look, it's the tag champs. Yes, Jackie, we see them. We see them. I'm glad you saw them. Isla, my goodness. That was either a dress or lingerie. I'm not necessarily certain, and I'm not going to complain one bit. And then Sonya and Cruz show up. We've been running the tag division. Is there a tag division to speak of, is my question. So, there we are. We're going to possibly have that match at some point. I'm not reviewing next week's show, as I said. A Gunther package on championships, prestige, and establishing, a way to basically just, trap the championship, take it from him, and establish that he will be the purified champion. I could stop one of these days, but I just won't. So Sammy and Jay go through the crowd, crowd in the concourse, and then they face Judgment Day members Balor and JD. They eventually win, and that's it. That's all I have to say right there. I recognize the people were into it. I'm not even saying it was a bad match. I'm sick of the combinations of Sammy and friends in the Judgment Day. I'm sick of the Judgment Day. There's such a thing as letting things go on way too goddamn long. People say the NWO went on way too goddamn long. Well, there are certain other things that have gone on too long in WWE. That being said, no review next week. SummerSlam predictions and late SummerSlam 2024 review. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.